Hey everyone, it's Lindsay from My Crafty Plans. Today I am super excited. I'm going to be planning the week of September 17th in my Erin Condren vertical neutral, and this is what I have been waiting for. I am doing a collab Harry Potter plan with me with some of my planner besties. We've got Esley from Inky and the Brain, Lauren from Lauren Plans, and Sammy from Artbox Stickers. I am so excited. We're all using different Harry Potter kits, and I can't wait to see what they do. We're going to be answering some really fun questions, so definitely go check out their videos. It will all be linked in the description down below. If you're coming over from one of their channels, hi, welcome, hope you stick around. I have my pre-planning insert right here, which is from Rock Your Notebook, and it is blank on Tomoe River paper, and it's got like this amazing blue shimmer notebook. I actually just ordered another one of these, and what I do for my pre-planning, if you're new to the channel, is I do my hand lettering practice and pre-planning in this beauty, and then I am going to be using this super old kit from Scribble Prints Co. I think this was like that first set of Harry Potter art that like came out last year. I don't know, I don't remember seeing a Harry Potter kit before this, although I'm sure one existed. I have been hoarding this forever. Like, you can see how old this is. It's got like dinos in the corner, and it's got like the washi strips and everything. But I've literally just been hoarding this kit forever and saving it and saving it and saving it. So I'm so excited to use this. Look at these gorgeous full boxes with all of the amazing house girls. I am gonna be, I think, maybe using all of them. I don't know. I might omit one. I love all of these full boxes. It's hard to check, but they're also really busy, which is gonna make it hard. I have some really cool Harry Potter overlays in gold foil to bring in. So this was like a really cool kit. It's got like a lot of grayscale in it, and then house colors. So I'm really excited. Oh, you can even see I've stolen a couple things from this old freebie, but that's okay. And then here's the washi and the extra full box. Definitely not using that because I have some really cool quote overlays, and I'm not going to be using the date covers either. But I do have a bunch of Simply Gilded washi. These are all from the pre-sale. I've got like the 2 grays and the red, the wine, which matches really well with the Gryffindor red. And then I've got like this dark green, which was the lucky green. I only have a 10mm of this, but it matches well with the Slytherin colors, although it's like a little green. And then I have this blue preppy polka dot one. Gotta bring in some Ravenclaw washi as well. I don't have a yellow with gold, so sorry Hufflepuffs out there. Anyway, this is going to be a voiceover, so I am just gonna go ahead and jump in.
I am gonna just be answering questions through the sort of beginning parts of the plan with me, and I am not 100% sure how long it will take, so I will adjust the video speed accordingly. But I am gonna just cut down the washi, the bottom washi, to pair that with some Simply Gilded washi, and then as well I'm gonna be using date covers from ColourPop paper and date dots from Artbox Stickers, and that is, I think, all of the non-kit stuff that I will be using in this part of the video. So I am just gonna jump in with the questions. The first set of questions is about your relationship with the book, and the first question is, what is your favorite book and movie, or like what's your order for them? So my favorite book, I think, is the 6th, with the 3rd being like a super close second, sometimes dipping into first place. So 6 and 3 are really my my most favorites, followed very closely by 1 and 7 together. Sometimes, again, 7 going ahead of 1, and sometimes 1 going ahead of 7, just depending on my mood. Then 4, then 2, then 5. The endings, the sort of like speed of the last ones don't really change that much, although I feel like 4 and 2 are moving closer together as I reread them. I feel like the second book is a book that like more grows on you, and the 4th book is a book that like becomes more problematic, I guess, as I keep rereading them. I actually hate the movies, like with a fiery passion, cannot stand them. So I don't have a favorite. I guess the first one is technically my favorite. And I don't super mind the very last Deathly Hallows movie. But I really just don't enjoy watching them at all. At all. So I don't really have a favorite. I find them very frustrating to watch for such a series that I love so much, and I just I don't know, I just can't get over like the the plot holes and like the missing pieces. And I think translating a beloved book into film is like so difficult, but I think that there are like other series like Lord of the Rings, for example, that do it so much better that I just kind of get really frustrated with Harry Potter. When did you first read them and how did you get into them? So this is actually really interesting because I didn't start reading them until after the first movie came out, and which is why the first movie kind of holds a slightly elevated place in my mind, because I saw the first movie in theaters and I had never read any Harry Potter before, and I actually didn't really read any fantasy before Harry Potter. I just saw that movie and was just like, what is this amazingness? I need to read this book right now. I think I made it through like the first 3 books in less than a week. I remember having to wait for the 4th one, but I think I just had to wait to buy it because I'm pretty sure the 4th book was the last book that was out when the movies came out. I looked up the years just to like, but in my mind I waited for that one. I definitely waited, did like that waiting pre-order. I never did any lines at midnight, but I always like ordered them to get them the day they came out. And then would stay up all night reading them for the 5th, 6th, and 7th. But anyway, so that is how I got into them. And it actually just created kind of a love of the genre for me as well. I didn't really read very much fantasy before that, and I still read a lot of fantasy to this day. So really grateful to Harry Potter for kind of like opening up that world to me. The next one is just like a favorite scene that always stands out to you. And so I think I'm like a little bit biased on this because I am like almost finished with a reread of this series, and I just finished the 6th book and started the 7th, and the 6th book is my favorite. But one chapter in the 6th book that I always like super, super, super look forward to reading is it's called After the Burial, and it's when Harry takes the Felix Felicis, and I just really love that like chapter. It's like his sort of confrontation with Slughorn, not confrontation because it's like really friendly, like the Felix Felicis helping him get that information from Slughorn that he needs about the Horcruxes. And I just think it's a really like him confessing that he is the chosen one. I think it's just like a really beautiful scene, and I think it's a little bit underrated. And I love like the description of the way Felix Felicis makes you feel, and just like the sort of like everything going right of that scene. So that is definitely like a favorite of mine. I did just read the wedding chapter of the 7th. That's where I am in like my reread right now. And I just want to give a special shout out to like Fleur making everybody look more beautiful when she walks down the aisle. And I think that's like a really beautiful sentiment for a wedding too. I know I have like a ton of other favorites. I love like in the first book, Harry talking to the snake at the zoo. I love pretty much all of the 3rd book and like his conversations with Lupin in particular. But since I just read the later books, those are like kind of more standing out in my mind right now. So that's been really just that Felix Felicis. I always look forward to reading that chapter. Side note, this reread that I'm doing, at least through book 5, I was also listening along with the Quibbler podcast, which is like a podcast that's about Harry Potter. It's called Harry Potter Book Club for Adults, and it's like serious but also extremely funny. So if you haven't listened to that, I highly recommend that as well, particularly if you like funny podcasts and Harry Potter, because it's a really good mix of both of those things. That's been one of the most enjoyable rereads that I've done so far. Then the next set of questions are about you being your fantastic Hogwarts self. So what house are you in? I am in Ravenclaw. That's why I chose, blue bottom washi and blue date covers. I am definitely a Ravenclaw. I've like actually never gotten anything else on a quiz, like unless I was like purposefully trying to get another house. I think like Slytherin is probably the next most identify with that. And like some Hufflepuff attributes, and Gryffindor is certainly the house I like identify with and like test with the least. Ravenclaw is like, I'm pretty firmly a Ravenclaw, like just like that the pursuit of knowledge in itself is a goal, and just like a lifelong love of learning. I have like quite an analytical job. I think that I am definitely a Ravenclaw. And incidentally, my husband who has never read the books, is also a Ravenclaw. We made him take the sorting test a few weeks ago, and he unsurprisingly got that as well. So we are a Ravenclaw family. I am interested to see where our kids will be. That's like kind of interesting. I was like almost bought them some house gear the other day that like from the Target line, which is like super, super cute. Target has like really cute kids Harry Potter stuff. And then I was like, can I buy them house gear? Like, is that too weird? Like, am I imposing my house on them? Anyway, side note on that. What would your favorite class be? So I actually think my favorite class would be potions. Like, take Snape out of the equation. Like, objectively speaking, that's just like I've always been like fascinated by that as a subject. Like, I mean, I guess it's pretty close to chemistry, which was not my favorite at school. I was always a math person. But it's like similar. I don't know. I really just like always identify with potions class and would definitely think that's like one of the more interesting classes. So I'm pretty firm in my belief of that, although I don't really like Snape as a character or as a teacher, which we'll get more into later. Anyway, your favorite magical item from the book. I think the Marauders map is probably my favorite, like, of the sort of super magical items. I just think it's really cool. It's like, I like the way that it came about too, like from exploring the castle, like getting to know the secrets of Hogwarts. And I just think it's also like, it's fun and it's cheeky, and it's like full of information. I don't know. I just always thought that it was like really cool, heavily underutilized in the book. If you listen to the Quibbler podcast, that's one of the things they harp on about a lot. One of their main quibbles, and they're very funny about it. But anyway, that is that. And then your favorite or most useful spell. I mean, this one is like sad mom life, but honestly, like Scourgify has to be like the most useful spell. That's the cleaning spell. Like if I could just like wave a wand and my house would be clean, that would be amazing. And like just think about how much free time you would have. So I don't know that it's like, it's not the coolest or most glamorous answer, but like if I'm really being honest and like just living my mom life, that is certainly going to be the most useful spell. So then we have some like random thoughts about the book. One is like, who do you ship? So I like didn't really, I've never been like, I mean, it's like normal to think about like, oh, characters would like go together. But I never really like knew there was like a term for this until pretty recently. But I do like this, and I like the like imposing your alternate ending on it. So I do really like Harry and Ginny together. But I think that Harry and Hermione would be like a really good pairing. Like I think that actually makes a lot more sense than Hermione and Ron. Probably unpopular opinions, but I do think that. And I also like, I just like the random, like, I don't know, I really don't like Hermione and Ron together, to be honest. And I don't think that they bring out like the best in each other. And yeah, I mean, well, it's funny because I have seen all the movies, and certainly in the movies, like Harry and Hermione have a lot more chemistry than Hermione and Ron, particularly in like the third and the end of them. But that's neither here nor there because that's not canon. But yeah, I've always like been kind of curious about that. And I also like, I don't know, I'm not like a huge fan of like Lupin and Tonks. Like I kind of wish that there had been like a different pairing for them. I don't know. Yeah, I would like, that's actually the next question is like what side backstory spin-off series would you want to see? And like my answer to that is about Lupin. I think it's a pretty popular backstory is wanting, you know, the Marauders, like Harry's dad and his friends, and seeing them at school. And I agree with that. I would really like to see that series, but I would take it one step further and say I would want it from the like point of view of Lupin being the main character. I just think that he, like even more than Sirius, is like the most well developed of the three, and just like it's also just like a really interesting perspective, like sort of like becoming popular as an outcast, like dealing with like, you know, being a werewolf and in school. And I just think that that's like really very interesting. So I want to know what his school dating background was. And I don't know. His relationship behavior with Tonks is like kind of bad behavior. So I just don't really like them together. I think because of that, like, again, they're not bringing out the best in each other, right? Like she gets like all depressed when he breaks up with her in like a way that's totally believable, but like isn't maybe like the most empowered. And then also, you know, he like doesn't, like, he, when trying to confront his own issues, like, about identity, like, really takes that out on her quite a bit. And I just don't really like that combination together. You know, I just am not a huge fan of them together because of that. But yeah, anyway, the next question is, or set of questions are about like redemption arcs, and like exploring what we think about redemption arcs or goodness for Malfoy, Snape, and Dumbledore. So, and I'll start with like, I'm going to start with Dumbledore and mix it up. But so I feel like I have a complicated relationship with Dumbledore. I really, really like him. As you know, you're supposed to, and see him as like this wise old man, but like his whole life really does boil down to like, do the ends justify the means, right? Like, do the things that he did and, you know, things that he kept from Harry, are they like really justified? And, you know, that gets to the question of like Harry's life versus his happiness and all of, you know, like his place in the wizarding world. So it's definitely like a complicated question. I do really like Dumbledore as a character, and I like that complication of him and just sort of like the wise old man status. I do really like wise old Dumbledore, and he's definitely given some of the best lines in the book, and I just like his aloofness in general. And I think, you know, like, as hard as it might be to accept, I do think that like a lot of times, you know, to some extent, like the ends do justify the means, right? Like the safety of the world, is that more important than the safety of one? And like, I guess as an objective third party, it's really easy to say yes, but then like, if it were like one of my kids, I don't know that I'd be giving the same answer. So, but that is just like a sort of interesting way to think about it. But yeah, Snape, I absolutely hate. I just really can't stand him, and I don't think he deserves his redemption arc. I don't think that like pining after some girl you knew while you were young is an excuse for doing any of the things that you did, or like the way that you have treated children or students. Like, he's just like, objectively speaking, like the fact that you don't like Harry's father should not, like, if you're choosing to be a teacher, like if that's your chosen profession, you need to be able to rise above that, because and like, it's not even just the way he treats Harry, right? Like the way he treats Hermione and Neville are also like just absolutely horrible, and they weren't even kids of his, you know, schoolboy enemy. I don't think his behavior towards Lily is really that redemptive either. Like, okay, so you loved her so much and you never got over it ever, and like it's just been shaping your whole life, but like they were never even dating. Like, it just kind of rubs me in a creepy way, and not in like a cute and beautiful way. Like that line, like, always, you know, after all this time, always. And that's like such a beautiful line, but like the fact that it comes from this background makes me feel like kind of yuck about it. So it's not one of my favorite quotes because of that. So I just really am not like team Snape at all. On Malfoy, I do think he deserves his redemption arc, and I am pro Malfoy. And I think that the huge difference is, and I've actually been thinking a lot about this lately, is like, right, and like at some point you have to accept responsibility for your actions. Like, we all have this stuff that we're dealt in our childhood, like the things that we grow up in, like the biases that come from being in our various families, or the lives that we're sort of born into. And it's really easy to forgive a child for those things, but at some point, you know, you have to take responsibility for your own actions and your own like growth as a human. And you, just because you had like a bad childhood or your parents were bad people, doesn't mean you get to be a horrible human being for the rest of your life. And Malfoy, and I think that this also applies to Dudley, their redemption arc comes from like breaking away from like their parents' views or whatever. And like, you know, obviously Dudley to a kind of a lesser extent, because his stakes are just like kind of being a little bit nice at the end, versus like Malfoy. And for me, like the deciding thing is like right, Malfoy was put in this horrible situation and he's supposed to kill Dumbledore. And when it boils down to it, he can't do it. He just can't. And like, that's not in him. And I think that really like sets him on a path of redemption that like, you know, we all deserve that opportunity, but like as an adult, and that's what makes him forgivable to me versus Snape, right? Like as an adult, like you're formed, you're done. Like these are the actions you are responsible for. Like your youthful indiscretions can be forgiven if you become a good person, if you become a better person, and if you like outgrow that, you like despite whatever background you've come from. Like no doubt Snape also had a hard childhood. Like that's made pretty clear. But at a certain point, you're not a kid anymore, and you have to be, you know, a decent human being. And Snape is not. And, you know, whether he's acting on the team of good, but I don't even think like he necessarily cares that much about whether it's good or evil. It's just like trying to take down who was responsible for Lily's death. And that's not really the right reasons to be on the side of good either. And versus, you know, Malfoy, who chooses to not do the wrong thing. I won't say he chooses to do the right thing in that instance, because it's more like that he can't bring himself to do that wrong thing and to kill Dumbledore. And I think that like sets him on the path of redemption, which he's then therefore earned by, you know, sort of breaking away from his bad upbringing. So anyway, I think it's easier to forgive children who turn into decent adults. But you know, everybody's got like a background, and it's our job as functioning human beings to like overcome whatever's in our background. So that is actually the end of the questions. I feel like I just flew through that. I can always talk about Harry Potter forever. If you're a fan, you know, let me know any answers you want to let me know down in the comments below. I will finish this up by saying, like, I'm obviously a habitual rereader of that, and I thought that was one of the questions, but I guess we cut that one. I've read this book like too many times to count, and I do like a reread pretty much at least once a year, although there's like some books that the sixth and the third, I've certainly read more than any of the other books, and I will just like read even just parts of them sometimes. I just really enjoy them, and I'm a rereader in general. Like it's actually pretty typical for me to read most books like 2 times at least, unless I really don't like something, and then I won't read it again. But I am very much a rereader, and that applies like times a million to Harry Potter. So hopefully you enjoyed those questions. I had a lot of fun answering them, and we had a lot of fun putting them together. And I am gonna just jump back in on the plans part. Oh, but I will post the questions in my Instagram stories if you want to screenshot them, so you can check that out at My Crafty Plans. And if you answer the questions anywhere, tag us all in them. Okay, so jumping into the plans, on Monday I caught up with one of my friends on the phone, and then we went to a Trader Joe's in the afternoon. I work sort of Monday through Thursday and a little bit on Fridays, but I haven't been putting in like when I work. I'm just kind of like, you know, putting in the other things that we do in the afternoon. In the evenings, I work like a reduced hours at like a regular 9-to-5 type job, but it's like fairly flexible as long as I hit my hours. So anyway, that night I did some filming as well, which is a pretty typical Monday night for me. And then I took a bath and listen to some Harry Potter. So I have this Fox and Pip girl that is so cute. Oh, I think I had a cocktail that night too, so I wanted to use her because she's holding wine in the tub. And then that is from the J. Crew Plans Rose Colored Days collab, and I like never watched the Harry Potter movies. As I already mentioned, I hate them, so I just decided to use that for listening to Harry Potter. On Tuesday, we had no school, or my daughter had no school, and I actually made that sticker myself. And then but I woke up early and my daughter slept in, so I decided I wanted to use this little Fox and Pip coffee espresso Patronum mug to mark that I just like had a relaxing coffee kind of a morning. I like to put that in. It's so nice when it happens, but it's like maybe once a week do I get to do that. And then I had to do some meal prep on Tuesday for our dinner the next day. Wasn't sure if I was going to fast or not. Yom Kippur is like a fasting holiday, but I am nursing fasting, so that can be kind of challenging. I didn't end up fasting, spoiler alert, but my husband did. So anyway, I meal prepped our dinner for Wednesday night for Break the Fast, and then we just kind of had some fun playtime in the afternoon, and as well I did some editing. That laptop is from Artbox Stickers, and those edit scripts and film scripts are from Rose Colored Days. And then I just didn't have anything else, but I did watch some TV that night with my husband, and like just took kind of like a break from the planner stuff. So anyway, I just decided to mark that in with a little thing and like that sort of YouTube play button, which I use sometimes to mark TV. So then on Wednesday, it was Yom Kippur. So these are the foiled holidays from Scribble Prints Co. Shout out for some amazing inclusivity. Lots of different holidays that like a lot of people don't have stickers for on there, including Yom Kippur. So using that, and that's Jessica, like J. Crew Plans' hand lettering. And then we did go to services that day, which is my daughter like loves it because we go to the kids services and they just like sing a bunch of songs, and anyways, it's really fun. It's super, super cute. So I mixed that with a Clever Gal Crafts heart to mark that. And then that day was the day that my Simply Gilded pre-order washi came in, and I don't usually mark Happy Mail in here. I usually put it in like my B6, but since this was like such an epic amount of Happy Mail, I just had to put it in there. So that is like washi once more with Love Munchkin, and that script is from Rose Colored Days. And then that night we did a Break the Fast, which is like a dinner that you do. My husband fasted, I didn't, but so he hadn't eaten all day. And anyway, and we had some friends over for that as well. Great thing about kids is we're still like done because everybody has to go to bed super early. They have kids too. So anyway, everyone was gone by like 7:30. So I took a lovely relaxing bath and listened to some more Harry Potter that night. So like super, super chill evening. So on to Thursday, my daughter had school, and I actually decided to use a half box for this for like a little bit of journaling space, because basically this was my daughter's like best day of school of so far. Like actually I feel like this is the week where she like has really turned a corner, and like since then school has been going super amazingly well, and like she's like not really crying at drop off anymore. She doesn't cry at all when I pick her up, and she's just like kind of happy. She can talk about school without like getting upset. So anyway, so I used a Fox and Pick backpack, a school script from Rose Colored Days, and that emoji is a foiled emoji from Artbox Stickers. So that day I also took a lot of photos for Instagram, which I wouldn't usually put in, but I had like space, and I decided to put it in. It was kind of a light day stuff wise. I mostly just worked all day, so I put that in. And then that evening, one of my BFFs from high school, who is expecting her first baby, gave me a call to ask my advice on some baby gear stuff, which was really sweet, and we just caught up a bit and talked about some baby stuff. So I used a Clever Gal Crafts heart from that, and then a foiled baby icon from Station Stickers. And then as well that night we just had some more TV time, and I'm actually gonna move that to the bottom later, and I think just put a bunch of deco in there because we didn't really like I said, I mostly just worked that whole day because I had been out the day before for the holiday anyways. Anyway, on Friday I did a Starbucks run, so that is like one of the little PR freebies from Scribble Prints Co with J. Crew handwriting and a dino from the kit. And then we just had like a really fun day. We went to like this indoor play place that has like this like really cool ball pit, and my daughter is now hardcore obsessed with ball pits. And actually I put the baby in there too. He's like 6 months old, and he actually really, really loved it. So that was cute. And then after that we went to story time at the library, which was like a really busy morning for us. So we did like 2 super fun activities. And then I also did some editing that day. Some weeks I write down when I do editing, and some weeks I like just do it throughout and don't really write it down. So anyway, just trying to remember when I do it, like trying to figure out how much time I really spend on planner stuff. The answer is a lot because I love it. But editing is probably like my least favorite of the things. Anyway, we also just had a sort of TV night that night, I'm gonna end up changing that out because I really don't like the way those little things look next to each other. But so anyway, on Saturday we went to the Domain, which is like this big outdoor shopping mall in the Austin area. It's where the Erin Condren flagship store is, if you don't know. But so it was really fun, and we did like a bunch of different stuff. I went in the Erin Condren store. I just like to look around whenever we're there. And we had lunch at this place called Velvet Taco, which was super, super delicious. And then that afternoon we actually went for a walk. And it was like so nice and fall weathery, so I decided I wanted to use this Fox and Pip Fall Girl. She's like so cute. I mean, honestly, like you don't need a jacket. Fall weather here is like whatever. But it was like in like maybe the low 70s because the sun wasn't out, and it was just like a really beautiful weather day. And that night we had Thai takeout for dinner, and as well I painted my nails. So I am just trying to cram all that stuff in there. So I also went ahead and swapped the color out while I had that up. Sorry for like this kind of weird choppy editing. I am not sure what happened. I am usually a bit better about that, but I was probably watching too much TV while I was doing this, and like I know this video is like 1,000 years long, but I could literally talk about Harry Potter forever. So anyway, like I said, I painted my nails. These scripts are from Artbox Stickers. They are so cute, and I am going to pair that with a Fox and Pip bow nail polish. So then on Sunday, we went for a walk in the morning, and actually my husband went to Starbucks and got us some coffee. So I had a yummy pumpkin spice latte, and that was from the kit. And then we went for like a more fitnessy walk. Our walk on Saturday had been just like more casual. And then we went to this amazing barbecue place called Styles Switch Barbecue, which is like our favorite place that you don't have to like wait in line for 7,000 years. So anyway, I mean, it's got like a little line, but not like Franklin's or anything like that. So then we just did a bunch of errands that afternoon, like went to the grocery store and I think Home Depot and just like some other random stuff. And then we started a new TV show on Sunday, and I thought we were going to watch it, but we like kind of got halfway through and it fizzled out the week after. So that happens sometimes. Anyway, I decided to switch out the TV thing on Friday because I really didn't like how it looked. But also that was the night we finished American Vandal, which if you like funny mockumentary stuff, it's really very funny. I found these magic footnotes stickers from Fox and Pip, and I like absolutely had to use one since they match so perfectly and they're adorable. And I didn't really have that much on Sunday, so they are quite large, but I just really wanted to use one. So anyway, I do plan on Sundays, and I did plan on that Sunday. So I just decided to move the other two things up to sort of just squeeze everything in there. Got to show a little bit more of my Ravenclaw pride. Anyway, that is pretty much it for this plan with me. I am gonna add in a bit more deco from the kit and then get this all filled out off camera, and then I will be right back. But I hope you did enjoy listening to this collab plan with me, listening to me talk about Harry Potter. I feel like I could talk about Harry Potter forever, so definitely let me know what you thought down in the comments below, and yeah, I will jump right back in. I'll fill it out.
Okay, that is everything all finished up. I love how this turned out. Give it a little wiggle so you can see all of that gorgeous gold foil. I just think this looks absolutely stunning. This was so fun while I was filling this out. I actually finished the 6th book of Harry Potter listening to it and started the 7th, so that's super exciting. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check out all of the other collab videos in this. They are all linked down in the description below, and if you came over from one of those videos, thanks for stopping by. I hope you liked it. Please give this video a big thumbs up. I would love it if you'd subscribe, and definitely check me out on Instagram at MyCraftyPlans to keep up with everything going on in my planners. Bye!